it, and yeah, um, the connection with this device is a little bit, but it's what I had handy at the moment. It's a little bit, it's kind of a couple shared one, um, wonky sometimes to get it connected and stay connected and this and that. But it actually looks like this might be behaving. Yeah, that's probably still a little too loud. I just had to sit down for it to figure it out. Not for me, but for YouTube. You know, YouTube is a bit picky about that. Um, I think it might still be. Third time's the charm. And so far, the dog is really big about following and kind of, getting up when, like, when noticing us move sometimes. I don't know if it's a breed thing or what, but so far he's doing good. And also sometimes get excitable, as do I, and hopefully you, when podcasting. It was just lotion if you saw that. Podcasting and, or on the phone. But no, it's being pretty good. I just was going to finish up something because, I don't know, I just felt like doing this better than calling a friend and, or a, um, better than calling a friend, or, and I couldn't reach the other thing he tried. So let's be here for each other. Okay, so, but yeah, it seems to be working. Last night it was very sporadic. The other night, what's this charged at, by the way? 74, yeah, and it was at 71 when I came down with it the other night. And it was outside, but shouldn't make any difference. The other person in the house said that maybe when playing stuff on YouTube and it buffers a little bit, it kind of, and then the connection comes back. But no, the only thing about 2 nights ago was that it, um, died but posted, thankfully, as it does. And then there was another thing, but something small, and I can't remember what, so whatever. But we got someone here, so welcome. Where are you watching from? I'm just kind of starting this. And thinking about how life is funny sometimes, or I guess that's the word for it. Um, like, yes, it's true. I have 4 other windows, whatever, on the go. But I came into the one for one thing specifically, whether it was because the other ones I wanted to keep them where they were at the time, and I wanted to podcast, or I don't know, one thing, and I really think it was that, because YouTube, much as I love it, watching and posting, is bad for that, right? It's like, and I did kind of touch on this a little bit. I still feel essentially for fellow creators, posters, but I don't know. It might be beneficial to anybody, and that's in the title. Nobody's. Oh, actually, somebody's doing that. But YouTube, it does it. I don't know if there's a way not to get it to, and there's a part of me that wouldn't want to change this, but it's kind of like you hop online. It's not just YouTube, really, and the news feed shows you all kinds of stuff, and I feel like on a computer it's even more so. And it's kind of like, so yeah, I opened up a bunch of stuff. I even moved some, and I think I even closed 1 or 2. But then, yeah, it's, and then, I don't know, there was various things, and it's still an issue, but if your browser doesn't relaunch, or it only relaunches one window, you can, if you accidentally close one window, you can usually go to history and select it, recently closed window, and relaunch it. However, the other person in the house didn't know that with the one window that was primarily, as I said, didn't have a lot going on, and then a bit pathetic because, like, you didn't intend for that, and maybe it's both that he acted too quickly, as I said. But it was also kind of my maybe. But and open up a new tab, which then meant that, well, it did show some, but it didn't give the option to relaunch it. Um, yeah, I was also talking about something with the other person in the house, and then like half an hour later we hear back from the person, and may have stated things differently if we had um, um, I mean, yeah, and there's been sometimes, I can't remember how many words they say the average person says in a day, and it certainly can vary, but I don't know. I've never lost my voice. I've had a sore throat, and I don't really want to try for one before bed, but whether it's podcasting, talking, because I live with, talking to people in general. Like I don't feel like I do it as much as a lot. Well, I don't know, podcast. I mean, not. I mean, lots of people podcast. Lots of people podcast fairly often. But there's lots of people that don't podcast, and then they might say less because but then they're living a busier life. I don't know. Anywho, I get sometimes annoyed when I'm either feeling repetitive or like and that I think tells me. So okay, it's just Messenger saying that there's no connection. So today has been great. I posted some great content. We ordered a nice dinner from a new place. It was easy. We got a bit of a discount. We were maybe that's about your day. It's not all about me, but whatever. Oh yes, I was wondering that. But I hemmed and hawed, but I was like, oh, I was like, oh, I yearn so much to be there before I wanted to, I feel mixed, but I was like, yeah, I kind of want to do this. Anywho, but as I was mentioning in a video earlier today, there was an event that I wonder if I should have went to, but there was a few things that didn't quite line up, so I didn't. There's one coming up Saturday. We even get to go for half price. And I don't want to think we're talking about her. I mean, I'm being vague, but and I'm tempted to, although I'd have to go away from this screen to do it. I think. She said she's going offline for the night. But let's talk about, perhaps, for a moment, the benefits, whether you or a loved one have it, of ADHD. Because, yeah, I want there to be someone here to hear this because I need it, basically. But it's good that, I hemmed and hawed how I wanted to be involved in this one other thing, too, and it's like, I think I've decided, and it's still fairly mutual, kind of like the other thing, and it's nice that it's a person, and I could hope that, I know that I'm, safe and fairly stable, and hopefully they would be as a volunteer, but I don't know how well they do sound like they have quite a process. Anyway, I wanted to talk about, and the viewer left, sorry, I mean, I know some of this is kind of more in my own head, and I know what I'm saying. Also, I don't know if I maybe had a few too many drops in my coffee with CBD, or if I've just been a little, because I've been talkative tonight, because I feel slightly swollen in my tongue, kind of too, but I'm going to try to look past that to do this, and you're welcome. Like the person was there just long enough to hear the symptoms. But not diagnose. No, just kidding. Yeah, and the radio's loud, but I don't think that loud. Like, I think any quieter and it would be off. And I'm talking and the AC is running, but of course there are times when I kind of pause for a moment, so I'm curious. I mean, I don't know how how viewers hearing would be compared to YouTube picking up on like the radio softly in the background. But do you hear it both while I'm talking and when I pause? No, because you left. Or it's like, yeah, and I love that song. To me, it doesn't. It's not recognizable what I'm hearing. Sounds country, um, but like I say, I feel like if it was any quieter, it'd be off, or I wouldn't hear it. I'm talking about the radio in the background. Do you hear it? Both when I'm talking and when I pause. One thing I want to talk about is how to manage with disappointment. I also want, and the viewer left, and that's disappointing, but whatever. I also want to talk about, yeah. I mean, oh, I'm so annoyed. You know, and it's not the curse of it. It's not the curse of it because, and she doesn't seem like a scammer, neither am I, as I went into some depth earlier. But, like, lots of people are successful in lots of ways. Yeah, I said something, that was one of the things I actually said before deciding to roll, and I'm trying to remember how I put it then as we get two people. Welcome. Something to the effect of, sometimes wishing you lived a different life, or in some ways. Like there's this show I sometimes watch, and it's kind of in the title, it's spouses, but honestly, it's the whole family swaps for I think a week. And sometimes I binge watch even episodes I've seen before, and then there's different versions, like a UK one, an Australian one, and one in the States. I think it's kind of an interesting dynamic. And somebody was there for a couple minutes. Love Lava. Lava. Lava is hot. Is it not? No, just kidding. But it's an interesting YouTube name. I'm curious about it. And welcome. Is this the first video of mine that you've seen? Anyway, it's an interesting emoji. I'm not sure what it's saying, or if it's random. Yes. I almost made a little joke like that, but so I'm curious the inspiration of your username. Anywho, kind of trying to focus here, but happy that you're commenting. Yeah, so I mean, it's an interesting dynamic, and then it either makes us grateful for the life that we have, and I think we should try to be, or it feels like a vacation. I don't know why you're saying that. My eyes aren't heavy. I'm communicating well. Are you stoned? Anywho, I think it speaks to kind of jealousy. There's always going to be things about other people's lives that we wish for, but then we also, guess what? You are stoned? Okay. But then there's also, a little bit of CBD oil, but I don't count that much. But, and we get a second viewer, welcome. I'm tired too. It's just after 10 and that. But anywho, I wanted to talk about, I apologize for that, both. I apologize for that, both of you. I'm using the only device I have handy at the moment. Sometimes the connection drops, sometimes it takes a while to come back, but here we are. Coming. It's okay. One of you still here. And I was just thinking, I don't know if it's the lava that's still here or the other person, but it just indicates at the top. But I was just thinking about a Disney song. I don't know where a Disney songbook is, or the one I'm thinking of that I think has this in it, but I think that's how I found out about it. But Someone to Lava. I'm not sure. It's kind of a nice song, actually. Yeah, so at least it is reconnecting pretty well when it drops. So I'm thankful for that. Also, do you hear the radio in the background? Because here I hear me talking and the AC. I do hear it a little bit, but I don't know if that means you do. But anywho, basically, and actually, they've kind of been both, not both happening today, but both kind of in the mix today, I guess you could say. There was an event that's coming up Saturday. We could go for half cost. However, we don't. It's supposed to be cloudy but not raining. We don't drive, so we'd have to bike or walk to it. Not super far, but not super close, within our neighborhood. And then we'd get to go at half cost. She's doing something really nice aside from providing tea. But I'm not much of a, she should provide coffee too, perhaps. I don't know. But each person that she gets to help in a certain way, she's giving them a flower. I said, we have lots of flowers. It's a nice idea, but we have lots of them. And I also feel like, I guess that's in case she doesn't do great, because one of the things that she does, and I don't know her very well I know me, but mostly, but she channels. And I've had moments where I've felt that ability as well, and 3 to 1. But and I just I it's kind of this thing where I said, maybe she's done events like this in the past, and maybe she'll do them in the future, and maybe I can talk more about that with her, because one of the things that is great is that it is fairly close by. In the winter, it may or may not be harder, but basically, that I said, it's nice to allow people to contribute. I understand having a leader, but it's nice to allow people to contribute if they feel called to. And whether we talk about being used to like support groups or, conversations online or that kind of thing. It's not that she didn't get that, but she was saying that she was pretty strict about, she even said it's like if you're at a concert. Sometimes somebody in the audience does get brought on stage. And I play small concerts. I am a performer. I haven't done a lot of that aside from online lately. But she said it would be like going there and kind of, trying to, anyway, I don't know. It's it just makes me think that, and also because things have been stagnant for a little while for me in that way, and in general, well, I don't know, it comes up on here sometimes, but it still feels largely stagnant. And as we get 2 people coming at once, welcome. So it's kind of like, I don't like to try and limit myself. I sometimes feel limited enough as it is in some ways. It's kind of like, if I'm feeling something, I guess I could hold it in my head and then approach them afterwards, whether they got something from her or not, as well as the flower. I guess so. I don't know. And it's on a Saturday. I'd like for us to both go, but we're sensitive in different ways, so I don't know. But it's kind of like, I just feel like, no, I'm leading this, this, it's just, she's offering it. It's kind of like a social thing, but she's also offering it because, it's what she does for work, and perhaps fairly frequently. And she wants to know by tomorrow. It's one of those things where somebody's doing something nice for you, like either giving you something for free or half off. But then there's still parts of it which kind of make it kind of like a wouldn't work kind of thing. It's all we can do in moments like that is be appreciative, right? And I have been. But so who do we still got watching? It says there's one person watching at the moment. Is it Love Lava or somebody else? And where you see, you can easily ask the back. What else do I kind of want to talk about? I am going to be getting, doing some before bed stuff shortly, kind of that I try and usually do, or do usually do. I don't know. We got 2 of you here. That being said, one thing that I kind of feel, kind of don't feel, would make it easier, just looking for my water, would be if it wasn't as stagnant, my feeling of reciprocation might not be the right word, feeling of appreciation for doing it. Like, there's been a couple times recently where I've kind of done it on this channel, and the person stayed around. It seemed to resonate, whether they related with it or felt like it was for them, or in a specific way, or just in general. And so I do notice that, and I do appreciate that. Um, Comments, about it, even more so. Donation, even more so. And yes, if that was happening, and though it's not happening because of lack of ability, I don't feel it's just it's happening. That it's happening, that it's not happening. I think because there's a lot of competition. I'm just not, connecting to the right people at the right time in the right places. Sometimes maybe, and so. But even if it was just a little bit, it's just like, one or two people, enjoying and showing that they're enjoying a podcast, even if that's not a big number, it has an impact, right? And it's important and appreciated. But yeah, so I mean, then I might be able to like say, okay, and I said it to the person I live with. I said, it was like, okay, but you're doing all right, in this area. So let her do her thing. Again, like I said, I could go up to somebody afterwards, I don't know whether it make whatever, if however felt, and you know, uh, I don't know. I'm sort of feeling like it might be beneficial for me to go, but not the other person that I live with. Although it could be, and it's actually him that found the event out about the event to begin with. I just think that in some ways, although I don't know fully what to expect, I think it's more my kind of thing. Not that it's hard to say. It's hard to say. And we've never been to one of her events before. But I could try to. I'm curious if either of you have seen any of my videos before, because if you have, you may know some of the stuff I've said kind of about this kind of ability and this kind of thing, in which case I don't need to say them again. So let me know, please. I'd appreciate that. Because I am kind of feeling, as tired as I am, sort of, like seeing what I can maybe kind of do in that area for somebody here. And not that I don't want they're doing and all this and that, but yeah, we have to think of ourselves too, right? We have to. We're trying to make it in this world as well, right? So it's a collective thing, but it's okay. Oh, that's interesting. It briefly disconnected, but then within a second it was back. But again, I do apologize. I'm going to have to wrap up in a short while anyway, but if it does that, I'll try my best to get back rolling. But yeah, so basically, yeah, I'm curious, have either of you seen any of my other videos before? There's two of you here right now. I'm curious, I guess, maybe know a little bit more about you guys, and try and check out your channel, maybe. I'm just gonna. It's been a lovely evening, but it's been slightly hectic, and same with the day in general. I'm just gonna slow down for a moment, allow you to comment on what you've heard me saying, and just kind of see where my head goes as well. Just kidding. So the two people that are here, or at least one of you who's been here a little bit longer, but you've both been here for a little while, and I appreciate it, may kind of realize what the topic of which I'm kind of talking about. I don't know how obvious I'm being about it, and I am and I'm not trying to be obvious. I'm just speaking. I don't know why that flashed just now. And it's not on. But I am sensing one of you, quite possibly both of you, but now there's only one of you here, has a sister in the afterlife. I am feeling more strongly that it is a sibling, but it could be. Okay, yeah. But I think, well, I'm not sure. On my other device here, it doesn't show a comment section. Oh, well, even though it is me, it says there's one watching, but I don't think it would count myself. It also says I can subscribe to myself. So I don't know. It says that there's somebody watching. Oh, now it does. And I bet with the indicators on here, but oh wow, we have two people here instantly, and it looks like I have to. I'm really this video. Some of them are not like this. To them are not, as far as it going and coming back. I'm I'm simply going to try and wrap this up, or possibly I will have the laptop available for about 15-20 minutes without any interruptions. I appreciate your patience. Mine's wearing thin with this device, that's for sure. And I don't know where the chat went. I have it selected to show. I did see it. I don't see it now. But you're welcome to still